Hello, everybody, and welcome to a fresh year of freedom. My name is Samantha Young-Fielding, and I'm delighted to have with me Sarajane Crookes today, who's going to be talking to us about creating ritual space. Now, this is a subject that fascinates me because I use a lot of rituals in my world, and I know that Sarajane's going to go quite deep into this for us to help us all figure out how we can use this the best to help ourselves. So Sarajane, I know you've got lots of wonderful things to tell us, but could you start just by giving us a very quick intro and then we can get into it?
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for inviting me into this space. And thank you to all of you for watching. I'm really excited to share some of the things I've learned over the years about creating ritual and bringing ritual into my daily life. And how it helps me to create everything that I desire, and everything comes to fruition when I bring ritual into my space and into my day. So just a little bit brief history about me. I've trained as a Vita sex, love and relationship coach just recently, and I've done Reiki 1. So I love placing my hands on people and letting them do the healing. And I do aroma touch, and I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate as well. And there's a whole lot of other things that have sprinkled on me that I share when the time arises. So I'm really grateful to be here. I did a quick Google search of what ritual actually means, and I was quite surprised that it's very boring. Google thinks it's very boring. Yeah, it says it's the performance of ceremonial acts prescribed by tradition, and I was like,
I wouldn't have described it like that, Sarajane. How would you describe it? Because that's not what I think.
Okay, so I think I like to describe daily ritual as sacred. I create sanctuary and I invite love into my daily practice, and I do it with intention.
Yeah.
So that I evoke and create the life I desire. And I think that really is what ritual is.
I agree.
We want to bring in love. We want to evoke all of it, all of everything that we want in our lives, and we want to bring it to fruition. And so that's what ritual does.
I love that.
So yeah, not even listening to Google. It's so boring.
I love it when someone says Google is your friend. I'm like, it's not a friend. It doesn't give me everything.
It can give me everything, especially the things that I want to hear. So ritual can be anything that you want it to be. It's really important that it is what you need it to be, not what Joe down the road's doing or Mark up the street's doing. It has to be for you. It has to be right for you. And you're the only one that can create that.
Yeah.
But we can give you some ideas around how it can work and what you can bring into your space as well. So yes, I might just start by just letting you know a couple of things that I do on a daily basis.
Right.
And then we might dive into breaking it down a little bit. I like to sit on my mat. I do Kundalini yoga on my mat. I'm training currently to be a Kundalini yoga teacher. And so I like to just sit on my mat. I do a daily practice most days. Some days I don't want to. And on those days that I don't want to, I sit on my mat. And then I just wait and see. What do I need to do today? And I just listen. And that in itself is a ritual. Just sitting quietly and seeing what comes. Sometimes I just sit and contemplate. Sometimes I'm called to actually do some movement. Sometimes I lay down on my mat. Sometimes emotions are evoked. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I laugh. So just sitting in itself is a ritual. I often set the space with my altar. Some of you might not know how to create an altar, so we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. But I light a candle, and I have some of my favorite things at my altar, things that are special to me. And they can be anything. They can be things like, I brought a couple down with me, and I have this. I went on an adventure with one of my daughters, and we went into the bush, and I love to collect things when I'm walking. And I used to have long hair and a ponytail, and I would put feathers in my hair. I put the spag moss in my hair. And so I've just kind of stuck it all together, and it's dried. And this is really precious to me because it reminds me of that day and that special time and the conversations that we had. So that's really special. So I have that on my altar. And then I also have this beautiful crystal rock that my son found. We went on a tramp down to the Greenstone track down in the South Island. And he's very fit, and he zoomed off up some hill. I was resting, and he came back and he gave me this. And it's beautiful, and I love it. And again, I have that on my altar because it brings back those memories. It's special to me. You can bring in crystals, just something that you like, that, you know, is special. So I do that. I light a candle. The actual act of lighting a candle is a ritual.
Yeah.
You do
And
it
symbolic.
consciously.
Very symbolic.
It's symbolic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, it's all of that, or none of that. It
Well, it's
depends.
interesting that you mentioned walking, because I have border collies and they have to walk a lot, otherwise they're going to eat my sofa. So
Yeah.
we walk every single day. We walk around 5 kilometers. And in the beginning, the walking was about the dogs and training the dogs to be obedient, to not jump at any other dogs, not chase any cars. But now that's all done, the walking is very meditative for me.
Yeah.
I get my best ideas. And I believe that my dog walk is one of my ritual spaces, because at the moment, with my sore neck, it's hard to go walking with dogs that are on leads. So my daughter has been doing the walk for me, and I'm really missing it because I don't have that place where I can just be with myself and allow my thoughts to come. So let's talk a little then about how you create a ritual environment, and see if we're doing it the same way. Where could it be, for example? Where might you want to place your ritual environment? Start with that.
Yeah. So for me, I have usually the same space. So in my office space, I've set up my mat and my little altar. And that's a place where I can go away from all of the hustle and bustle of the day-to-day. Not that there's much hustle and bustle here at the beach, but when my husband's at home working, he works upstairs. So in order for me not to hear all his work conversations, I like to come down and sit in the quiet down here. And so that's my sacred space. But that's I'm very flexible with it too, because sometimes I'll go and sit on the beach. So last night, full moon, I went and sat on the beach. I took a towel and I took my goddess cards and my crystals, and I sat and I reflected. So that was my ritual space yesterday.
Yeah.
Often when I'm driving up to Auckland and I'm coming up to the big smoke and I'm like feeling overwhelmed with what's about to happen and all of it that's going around, my car is my ritual space. It's my sanctuary. It's a place where I can feel safe. I can feel secure. I can zone out from all of the noise, and I can go within, and then I can ask for what I need in my journey. I can ask for the outcomes that I want. I can ask for how the conversations will go, the meetings will go, the fun will go, all of it. I can put my intentions out. So that's my car. So you might have a cupboard under the stairs. That can be your place. You know, you can make it all cozy with cushions, and you can put pictures on the walls and hang fairy lights up. And that can be your sanctuary, your place to go to be on your own. Doesn't need to be a big space. And it doesn't have to be extravagant.
And I'm guessing it doesn't have to be anywhere physical. You could also just be outside in nature. Is that possible?
You can be outside in nature. You can sit beside your bed on the floor. You can sit out on the deck, on the grass. It's beautiful. Sitting out on the grass under a tree. Magic. Just magic. So it can be in any moment of any day. You can just choose a ritual space.
Yeah.
Because they're all around us.
Absolutely. They're literally there for the taking, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
You know, you stand in the feet in the sand, lying on the sand, floating in the ocean, looking up at the sun, creating ritual space, doing it with intention. Yeah, it's really magic. If you are a busy person and you get up, you have children to get off to school, then you've got a job to go to. Before you open your computer at work, be conscious about it. That can be your ritual space. You know, like you might have a pot plant on your desk. You can just have a little crystal just placed on the little box on your desk.
Yeah.
You can just pick it up with intention and set your intention. What are you going to do today? How are you going to do it? How are you going to interact with the people that you come across? All of it. Create intention then.
Yes.
It's so beautiful.
I have a little altar. Like you, it's in my private space because it's in my clinic space. And every night before I go to bed, I sit at the altar and I do exactly what you said. I set my intention for the following day. So I think each individual does it in their own way. Would you say there's something you specifically need if you're going to create a ritual space?
I don't think there's something that you necessarily need. You just need yourself. You really just need yourself, and you need to have an open heart, and you need to have an open mind.
I would literally, as you said that, I'm like, don't forget the mind. I'm the same. Open heart, open mind. I think it's exactly that. Exactly right.
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing. And then if there's these other things that you want to bring in, it's just perfect. That's beautiful. All the mementos, crystals, goddess cards, tarot cards, all of the things that mean something to you and would help you through the rituals time that you sit. A pen and paper, you know, like it's really beautiful to be able to capture some of your thoughts that come in, your emotions. You can write them, you can journal them. Having that tool just to capture those ideas. Or, you know, if you're a person that likes to record things, have your phone. If you're out walking, have your voice memo so you can, you know, take notes about those wonderful ideas that you've thought up on your trek.
I do that when I'm dog walking. It's impossible to write when you've got two border collies.
No, exactly.
I leave myself voice notes. It's the funniest thing. And of course, in our community, those who have a Healy, that also becomes part of your ritual space, because that is going to add in the frequencies that you feel you need at the moment to create what you'd like to have next. And I think that's really important too. I'm running a long protocol at the moment where I have a program that I run in the morning and a program that I run in the evening. And my husband and I are doing it together. So we're running the same programs, which is lovely. So you can invite others into your ritual space as well, can't you?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. Absolutely can. And it's wonderful to sit in circle or just sit. Doesn't need to be in a circle, but it's lovely to sit in circle with other women, with men, friends, family, just anyone, acquaintances, people that you come across. inviting them in to sit with you. And it's so empowering, and it intensifies any intentions that are set when you do it with others. It's so powerful. And the connection of the physical. So holding hands with those people, just touching them, creates the energy, it magnifies everything. And it's, you know, like the power of sitting with others is incredible. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Any opportunity that I have to sit with others, and even to give thanks, the beautiful ritual of giving thanks before a meal, or just when you meet with friends. It just brings everything right in, and it helps you to connect on another level. So absolutely, that's so beautiful when you get to share ritual space with others.
So when we had the pandemic and we couldn't meet face to face, did you do any of this ritual space online?
We did some with friends, absolutely.
Yeah, we
not quite the same, but the gathering and the excitement of it, you know, because we were so separate, and we kind of got lost. So bringing ourselves together into the Zooms and the FaceTimes and things like that, it really meant a lot.
Yes.
Really meant a lot. Yeah.
I think for me as well, the whole ritual space opportunity means that those who are feeling strong can help those who are feeling weak. And the next time we meet, it could be the other way around. Those who were weak and are feeling strong. So what it does, I think, is it gives everybody some space for themselves. And that's so important. So what can people expect from sitting in ritual space, in your view?
Right. I'm just going to touch back to that last comment that you just made about who turn up and they show up and they're strong and they're feeling good. And then you have other people that come in and are not feeling so supported and things. And that's what I love, the beauty about connection and the physical connection, just like holding hands in circle, the comfort that brings, the physical support that brings, the holding, the upliftment of that physical support. It's just holding hands. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's, as I said, the power of those who are feeling, and their power and they're feeling strong, that's transmuted right around the circle.
I was presenting the roundup of week 3, and I spoke exactly about that and talked about a pilgrimage that Jewish people make, where they circle and meet each other, those who are weak and those who are strong coming together to reinforce. I think that's so critical. And we don't have to wait for there to be a crisis. It could just be an everyday thing, couldn't it?
Every day. So it's I just love that. So what do you expect when you sit in ritual space? Well, you could expect the unexpected.
Amazing.
Because sometimes when you sit in ritual space, things show up. Emotions show up. Thoughts show up. It's something that it's so beautiful. I find it so beautiful that when I sit in ritual space and the unexpected shows up, I have a huge gratitude for that, because today it means I am ready. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to face it. I'm ready to take on the challenge. And if we sit in ritual space and allow, and then we trust the process and we surrender to it, we're going to grow magnificently in every way, because we have allowed, trusted and surrendered the process of allowing the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts, everything to rise within us.
Yeah.
And we expect them. So that's something that you can expect to happen.
Don't you find that if we forget to do that, that's when issues arise and we end up having to go and see somebody therapeutic to help us to actually allow things to happen? Whereas we could just do this for ourselves with sitting regularly in ritual space, allowing things to come through.
Just allowing them to come through, asking ourselves questions. We can do that when we sit in ritual space.
Yeah.
We can expect to hear the answers.
Mm.
We can. We're sitting in the quiet, we're sitting alone or with others. We ask the question, we will receive the answer. We've created the space within ourselves. We've taken time out from our busy lives. We've made ourselves a priority in that moment. So we will receive. We always receive the answer. It might not be the answer you want, but we will always receive the answer. And that's the beauty of creating time, ritual space. You can expect to create your wildest dreams and make them come true. All of your desires for your life, everything. Like, go big. You don't need to play small, just go big and ask for it.
Yeah.
And you will receive it.
We're really talking manifestation process here, aren't we? That if you don't put it out, nobody knows what you want.
No one knows.
Yeah.
So just ask. And you ask, you might say, who do I ask? Well, you can ask God. You can ask the divine feminine. You can ask the universe. It's whoever you trust. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
You just ask. Because they're all actually sitting there waiting. They're just waiting for us to ask. They're there to help us.
We have quite a few angels in our house. We have the car park angel, so that when we're driving along, my husband will be like, we're never going to get a car parking space. I'm like, we totally are. We have the weather fairy. We ask her as well for lots of things. I think there's lots of different ways you can integrate the rituals into your everyday life and make them a practicality. It's so cool. So this deep contemplation that we're talking about, I also like the idea myself that your ritual is to celebrate things. Do you do that with your ritual? Do you celebrate?
Absolutely. I celebrate, I brag. I love bragging. And it's a very American term. But we have to celebrate the hell out of ourselves because actually no one else is going to. Probably not. You know? Is it the saying tall poppy syndrome?
Oh, yes.
Flick that out of the way.
Agreed.
No, we do. We have to celebrate ourselves. From little things and big things.
I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said it's little and big, because it's the little that we forget to celebrate. And I think that's important. Yeah.
It is important. It might be that you had 5 minutes on your own drinking your coffee. Celebrate it. That's when you're a busy mum who doesn't even get 5 minutes. So when you get 5 minutes, celebrate it. Make it count. Everything. Just celebrate everything that you achieved.
I look at those celebrations as well as being tiny signals to the universe, God, whoever it is that you work with, to bring you more of that, to give you more of what you're celebrating. Because we can also spend quite a bit of time complaining, and then we get more of the things we're complaining about. So I think it's really important that we do counterbalance that. And in ritual space, that's a great way to do it, isn't it? To just celebrate, appreciate, be grateful for all the things that you have.
All of it.
Yeah.
You've got to celebrate all of it. And if you can do 3 a day,
Mhm.
you're going to be on the right path.
Okay.
You'll get more and more.
That sounds amazing. So we're talking celebrate 3 things, or we're talking do ritual 3 times?
No, I'd celebrate 3 things, but you can do ritual 3 times if you want the time.
Well, I'm
Absolutely.
looking at my day and I'm thinking I actually do ritual 3 times, because I do one in the morning with the dog walking, and do one in the evening at my little altar that we've already spoken about. But whenever I'm running my Healy program, that's another time.
Yeah.
Because you can run a Healy program when you're doing something else. So the end of my program I was running this morning meant we were going to start with our presentation today. But sitting with what I'm asking for, whatever I'm running the program for, whether it be for well-being, whether it be for my mental health, whether it be for my neck, these things give us the opportunity to just sit quietly with ourselves. I wonder if for some people, sitting with themselves is difficult. What would you say?
Absolutely. 100%. Most of us find it really hard to sit quietly and not have the music on or our phone or something going on. Sitting, it's actually really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's okay. Until you get used to it, it's okay to feel really uncomfortable. And the silence is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Agreed.
Allow yourself the space to sit in silence, because you deserve it. You really do.
Yeah.
It's really important to get comfortable with the uncomfortableness. Because actually, if you can't be comfortable just on your own, you're not going to have space for anyone else.
That's right.
It's really true.
Yeah.
So just taking time. A lot of us don't like to make ourselves a priority. And really, creating ritual space is making yourself a priority, putting yourself first before others. Might mean you have to get up 15 minutes earlier in your day. Might mean you have to get up 5 minutes earlier a day. But just showing up for yourself.
So worth it.
It's absolutely worth it. And you know what? You get to celebrate that. That is one of your celebrations.
Yes.
I showed up today for myself before anyone else. And this is the thing. It's like, as soon as we do that, I feel like so excited. I do. I feel so excited when I keep showing up for myself. I'm like, damn girl, you count. Yes.
So, bearing in mind that this is our week of environment, do you think ritual is about inside you or outside you?
It's both.
I'd agree.
It's both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely both. Because if you create an environment within you that is nourishing and encouraging, and you celebrate and all of that, that beauty that you've created within your internal environment is just going to spill out over into your external environment. So your husband, your partner, your children, your work colleagues, your friends, they're all going to benefit from what you're doing within, because it's just going to overflow. When you meet them, when you greet them, when you cook them dinner, you're going to have gratitude for the food that you've cooked for your family. It's going to taste delicious.
Yep.
So all of that you're creating within is overflowing into the environment that's around you. So important for us to really nurture our internal environment, so that we can create the life and the world that we desire.
Agreed.
It's so, yeah.
So if you've got something going on internally, some kind of discomfort, disease, whatever, do you think ritual space still has a place? Is that something that you can work with?
Absolutely. It's probably more important
Mm-hmm.
to make time for ritual space when you're in the discomfort or the dis-ease
Or the distress.
or the distress.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really important to do it when you're feeling good.
Mm.
You practice when you're feeling good so that you've got the tools to carry you over into the days when you don't have the energy or you don't have the spark or the want to get out of bed and sit in ritual space.
Yeah.
It's really important that you practice in the good times,
Yes.
because the power of the thought, so celebrating ourselves, learning to art, all of that helps us when we really, really, really need it.
For you then, why is it important, I'd say even critical, to either sit in ritual space or bring ritual into your daily activities? Because there isn't always time to sit, but there is always time to be with yourself. So
there is.
The most important things for you along those lines, what would they be?
So the most important things for me is for at least once a day, that I tune in. So I be conscious about being present for myself. And I will either, like, for instance, sometimes I'm really busy. Some days I have to get up really early and I have to go to Auckland. And I don't have a lot of spare time, so I don't have time to sit. So one of the things that I do is, while I'm still lying in bed, I've just opened my eyes and I put a hand on my heart and a hand on my womb space. And all I do is I say to myself, welcome to the new day, Sarajane. And I welcome my soul and I welcome my heart. And I thank my mind for all that it will receive today.
That's so beautiful.
Like 30 seconds. But I consciously tapped into within. I gave myself gratitude and I welcome myself to the day.
Beautiful.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's so perfect. And that's all it can be. It doesn't need to be an hour, just 30 seconds. So doing something simple is enough. It truly is.
Isn't that the best way as well, though? If it's simple, we'll do it. If it's too complex,
absolutely,
there's reasons to not do it. But if it's absolutely simple.
Yeah, so simple. You might have an affirmation that's come to you, and it might be just as soon as you get out, you look at your mirror and you've written it on your mirror and you just read your affirmation to yourself.
Yeah.
And again, you've consciously tuned in and you've given yourself a great start to the day.
In the community, we send a group affirmation every week. So we've got one at the moment for environment. We post it into the groups that everybody knows. So there's an affirmation people can use if they wish.
Absolutely.
And we're sending that. We're sending it with Healy frequencies. We're sending it every single day. Ali and I, we do one end each of the day. So it comes out to everybody. The thing,
amazing.
It is, it's wonderful. But the thing is, no matter what is being sent to you, unless you are open to receive, which I'm understanding from what you're talking about, ritual is all about, it's not going to help much. We have to be open.
Yeah. And you have to believe in yourself. Having that trust and belief in yourself is the first step. Yeah.
There's that whole my body is a temple thing, but it isn't just about the body, is it? It's about your soul, it's about your mind, it's about how everything interlinks. So is there anything on ritual that we haven't yet covered that you'd like to add here now? Because to me, this is a vast subject and we could go on all day.
Talk and talk and talk and talk. One of the things that I have found that has been most beneficial to me is journaling. I think that's a really, really, really powerful way of working through some of the things that might come through when you sit in silence. And if you're asking and you're wanting to receive an answer, writing in your journal is really powerful. And it's something that I have used for, I don't know, probably most of my life.
Mm.
And when I say writing in your journal, it might be a whole lot of nonsense. It might be anger. It might be frustrations. It might be your desires. It might be a poem or a musing. It's just whatever it needs to be. Every day will be different. You know, writing poetry is a fabulous way of expressing your feelings and your emotions.
Yeah.
And I used to write a lot of poetry, and I haven't for such a long time, and I've started again.
Yeah.
And just meaningful to me. And I did share on Monday morning when I led my Kundalini yoga cohort in the morning practice, and I wrote a little musing about the mat and what it meant to me. And I celebrated because our teacher asked me to share the poem on the chat so everybody could read. And I was like, yeah, go me. They loved it, you know, like.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's just, so you have to do again what's right for you.
Yeah.
And it's not, I find safety in my journal. I love to be able to get it out onto the paper, however that looks. And sometimes I will reread what I've written.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that makes no sense. Did at the time.
Exactly.
I just did it.
Yeah.
And I was in space to what I was when I was reading it again. So it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of getting it out.
We've actually got a
Expressing it.
session coming up where we're showing people how to journal, because I think it is so powerful, and it's something that I do ad hoc. I don't do it all the time. Personally, I don't feel the need to write things down, but it is an amazing embodiment practice. It's taking what you are gifting and receiving and actually placing it down on paper, which for a lot of people is a total requirement to make their ritual space an everyday reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So beautiful.
Sarajane, thank you so much. This has been a really amazing conversation. Loved it.
I've loved spending the time. Thank you for the opportunity, Sam.
No worries at all. Thank you again.